it's Mo. It is January 13th. I probably won't post this for a little while. I just took a shower. I need to let my hair dry. So while my hair is drying and while I'm putting on my socks, I thought we would do the New Year's tag. This was created by Bookables, and the notes that I have say that it's from 2022, but I actually think it's from a lot longer ago than that, but any information I have I will leave listed down below. I'm probably also look red because I took a shower too. Not sponsored by seltzer, but if you want to sponsor me, I do drink a lot of seltzer. The first question of the New Year's tag is, how many books are you planning to read in 2026? So I will leave my goals video listed down below. I don't have a ton of goals for 2026, but I do always set my reading goal, and this year I set it at 135 books. I've talked about this before, but I am going to make like a year-over-year video talking about my stats, so I'm not going to talk too much about that here, but I did end up reading 212 books in 2025, which is more books than I've ever read in a year, as far as I know. That's a lot. I had set my goal to 114 in 2025. I do want to always like challenge myself a little, but I also always want to make my goal very achievable and very approachable, and if I only read 135 books, like that would be totally fine. If I read less than that, that would be totally fine. Don't base your reading on how many books you want to read in a year. Base your reading on the books that you enjoy and reading at a pace that you like and reading books that you enjoy, etc., etc. But I did set my reading goal to 135 books, and I think I will accomplish that in 2026. The next question is, name 5 books that you didn't get to in 2025, but you want to get to in 2026. For that, I'm going to look at my series tracker because I would like to make progress in a bunch of series this year. So I did create a new series tracker. I do this every year where I look at the series that I've read. I have a lot of series that I'm in the middle of. It looks like right now I'm in the middle of around 80 or 90 series, so that's a lot of series. Some books that I would like to read that I didn't read in 2025 are parts of series. So I didn't read any A Jersey Shore mystery series in 2025. These are by Beth Sherman, and these were written in the 80s and 90s, and they take place in Ocean Grove, New Jersey, which is one town south of mine. So they're a local cozy mystery series about a ghostwriter, someone who writes content books for other people, and they're always really fun and interesting, and they're also interesting to see the author's take on Ocean Grove and on the Jersey Shore and on Asbury Park. So I definitely want to read at least one more in this series. I only have 2 more to go though, so I might make it a goal in 2026 to complete this series. I did reread Binti in 2025, and I also read the second in the Binti series, which is called Binti Home, and I would really like to finish that series this year. This is a Afrofuturism series by Nnedi Okorafor, and I really enjoy it. The third one is the longest, and I don't own it, so I won't be able to read this one until I'm done with my Read What You Own challenge, and depending on some other challenges that I do, I'll have kind of only specific times when I can read books that I don't own. So I would like to finish this one in 2026, but I don't know when I'm going to be able to do that. Along the same lines is Days at the Murakami Bookshop, which is by Satoshi Yagasawa. I read the first in the series in 2025, I believe, and I would like to read the second in the series. I know I can get that one on audio, so I'll just read it on audio because I don't own it physically, but I can only really read that one when I have time to read it. You know, when in my schedule I can read books that I don't own, because a big project that I am going to do this year is to read down my own physical TBR. A book that I do own is Dayworld Breakup, which is the last novel in the Dayworld series by Philip Jose Farmer. I did read Dayworld Rebel, I think in 2024, and I read Dayworld maybe even in 2020. So there are 2 novellas in this series as well, but they're much harder to get your hands on. So if I can get my hands on those, I'll try to read them. But I do own Dayworld Breakup, so I would definitely like to read this. This is a future story of a time when the world is so overcrowded. You have to be put in stasis for 6 days, so you only get to live 1 day of the week. And this is about a man who can daybreak, who can live every day of the week, but he has to live as a different person every day of the week. It's about him exploring exploring this kind of dystopian future. How many was that? 4? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so the last one I'm going to talk about, I'm just doing these by the series name alphabetical order because that's how my spreadsheet is, but another book that I would really like to read this year is Pigs in Heaven. This one I was kind of planning on reading last year in 2025. I mean, all of these I was really, because all of these I was interested in finishing up this series. This is the second in the Greer family series by Barbara Kingsolver, and I do have Barbara Kingsolver. Sounds weird when I say it for some reason. And I do have this book. I read The Bean Trees, which was my first Barbara Kingsolver a couple of years ago, and I really liked it. And I've kept it on my shelf. It's over there somewhere. But when I read Pigs in Heaven, I think I'm going to get rid of both these books. So it'll be good to read a book off my TBR and then also unhaul it at the end of the year. The next question of the New Year's tag is, what genre do you want to read more of in 2026? Well, so I haven't been reading a lot of horror because the world is on fire and I am finding myself a little bit more sensitive to horror. But the horror that I did read in 2025, I really, really liked. And it was, I guess, leaning on a cozier side of horror. I really loved the Sworn Soldier series. I really loved Graveyard Shift by Emma Rio. I really loved The Dead Take the A Train. I really loved Spread Me. So I think I would like to read more horror in 2026, but like short novella horrors or horrors that are also love stories or something that kind of blends genres so that the horrors aren't like real life horrors. They're more like cosmic horrors or fairy tale horrors or fiction horrors, something like that, I think. I also would like to read more diaries and letters in 2026. This is a big project that I started working on at the end of 2025, and you'll hear more about it at some point. I haven't made a video about it yet. Not only a reading project, but a writing project. So in order to do this writing project, I want to read more books like this. So I really want to read diaries. I really want to read memoirs that are in diary form. I really want to read letters because letters are kind of like diaries, you know? Question number 4 is name 3 non-bookish related goals that you have for 2026. Again, I talked about this in my goals video, which you'll see down there, but I definitely want to get better at Procreate. I already started working on this. It is not book related, but it is booktube related. I want to get better at thumbnails. I want to get better at editing. I want to be a little bit more, I want my videos to be a little bit more personable or personal to me. I also want to move my body more. I want to walk more. I want to get out more. I didn't do that very well at all in 2025, so I desperately need to do that. And another goal that I have is, I'm trying to think of one that maybe I didn't mention. Oh, I guess I could say another goal that I have is to travel a little bit more. I did do a little bit of traveling in 2025, and my husband traveled a lot for work, which was great. He saw a lot of amazing new cities and towns, and the traveling that I did do, we did separately, which I don't like. I would, of course, much rather travel with my husband, who's, my best friend. We are really good travelers together. We have such a great time. He's the person that I want to share everything with that's fun about traveling, but him staying home means that I don't have to worry about the cats. So that was nice for him. While he was traveling for work, I stayed home, and that allowed him to not worry about the house, not worry about the cats. So something that I would like to do in 2026 is take the time to do some traveling alone, probably, but maybe with other people. Short trips, I went to Pennsylvania with my mom. That was really nice. I would like to take my mom somewhere again. So I definitely would like to do a little more traveling in 2026. And that's something that I didn't mention in that goals video. Question number 5 is a book you've had forever that you still need to read. This is turning into me talking about all my projects, but one of the projects that I'm going to do this year is reading the oldest books on my TBR. So a little preview for you there, because I'm sure you will see this video before you see any of those. At the beginning of the year, I counted all the books that I have on my various TBRs for various years, and I had 240 books that are the oldest books on my TBR. So there's a bunch. I could name a bunch. I've already read a couple off of there in 2025, which is really nice. I actually just saw that Speak Memory by Vladimir Nabokov, which is a memoir, is written kind of in diary form, or it's listed as one of the books of diaries. So that is a really old one that I would like to get to. I got that one before 2020. Miss Savage Moves Her House I got before 2022. I said 2020 before, I meant 2022. I got that because Simon Savage read it and it's about one of his relatives, so I wanted to read that. Just a bunch of books off of my pre-2022 TBR that I would love to get to in 2026. Question number 6 is, what is one word you're hoping 2026 will be? And I would say like peace. Like if I could say one word for the world, it would be peace. That we need peace, that we need to fight for peace, that we need to encourage peace, that we need to do whatever's necessary to create peace. If I was going to say one thing for my channel, it would be consistency. I would like to see myself be more consistent in filming and editing and posting. If I was going to say 2 words for my channel, I would like it to be growth, both my own personal growth and growth of the channel. If it was for my reading, I think it'll just be like, the word would be like chill or relaxed or calm. If it was for myself and my life, I think I would like to learn and grow, but also finish things. So I don't know what a single word would be to encapsulate that is. I've tried a couple times to make like a word of the year, and sometimes they work and sometimes they don't, but it's not the first thing that I usually think of. Those are a few words that might be good for this year. That was the New Year's tag. And of course the last prompt or question is to tag people, but this is one of those tags that I do every year, like the Postscript tag, which you will have seen me do recently, which talks about my last quarter of the previous year. This really talks about like the beginning of the new year. And then there's the quarter year tag that talks about the first quarter, the mid-year tag, which talks about your mid-year challenges and goals, the end of year tag, which talks about your ideas for the last quarter, and then again we're back at the Postscript tag. So these are 5 videos that you can do throughout the year, and you don't need to be tagged to do them. So if you would like to do this tag, definitely consider yourself tagged, make a video on your channel, or if you would like to just answer one or any of the questions in the comments below, feel free to do that. And I hope y'all are having a good new year. I hope you're off to a good start. Let me know in the comments below what is a word that you hope for the new year. If you often set those words or if you just thought of it on the spot like I did. Thanks so much for joining me today, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.